So we're into week 2 of Superhero Month. So for this week, I didn't want to do another movie review, but I also wanted to do something that would combine more than just Marvel and also DC. I thought I could do my favourite superhero films, but to be honest, most of those would be Marvel, if not all of them. No offence to DC or anything. But then I sort of thought instead I could do a different kind of favourites list, which would be my favourite of the Avengers films, so like the main, so like Thor, Iron Man and Captain America, my favourite Batman film, and my favourite X-Men film. So I thought that spread it out a little bit better. I would do my favourite Superman film, but I'll explain at the end of the video why I'm not. So starting with it, my favourite Thor film. Thor Ragnarok, which is probably not a surprise since the Thor films have had a bit of a reputation of being the weaker ones. I mean, the first one I really liked as a first film and an introduction to Thor. Thor the Dark World I don't dislike as much as people seem to. They always put that quite low down on a scale of Avengers films, and I thought it was okay. I think, like what a lot of people have said, that the problem with Thor is that trying to set him on Earth doesn't work so much. We don't really want to see him interact with modern day stuff. We want to see him in space doing stuff with other planets, and that's exactly what Thor Ragnarok does. It does have a lot of comedy in, of course, which is really cool. I do love the comedy in it. It does feel a little bit too comical in parts, considering some of the big stuff that happens in it. But I still think the characters are wonderful. Thor is amazing. I love Thor. He's probably, as I said before, he's probably my favourite Avenger now. So yeah, definitely that one. My favourite Captain America film. Captain America Civil War. Yes, the third installment again. This one just upped the ante. I know this one feels very much like Avengers 2.0 or something like that, because it's got pretty much, you know, it's got Tony Stark, it's got so many Avengers. The only Avengers it doesn't have is like the Hulk and Thor and stuff. But it's still a Captain America film. It still focuses mostly on Captain America. And like I said, it's just epic. I love it. I love the fact that the story doesn't have... Okay, without spoiling too much, it doesn't really have a big bad guy. It's mostly turning the sides against each other. The way they do it is very clever. Like I said, the amount of characters they get in it is really good, but still managing to focus on the main rivalry going on works really well. And yeah, I just think it's got some really good action sequences. That whole bit at the airport is just amazing. I do enjoy Winter Soldier, and I do really like the first Captain America film. In fact, the first one grew on me. I wasn't all that fussed to begin with, but that one really grew on me over the years. But if I am being honest, that's probably the one I prefer. My favourite Iron Man film is... Iron Man 3? Yeah, for some reason I seem to like the third installment most. This is probably going to be an unpopular opinion because a lot of people are probably going to think, well, why not the first one? The first one is what started the MCU, you know, that's the big one. That's what gave Robert Downey Jr. his big comeback. Yes, and it is good as an origin film. I do like it. If I'm honest, I probably enjoy the first half of it a lot more. Once he sort of gets rescued and I'm working out the suits, that's all fun. But then I kind of lose a bit of interest. I'm not as engaged. The third one, I'll admit, is actually a bit longer than I would like. If it was a lot shorter, I think it was really good. A lot of people complain about the bad guy reveal. Doesn't bother me because I don't know the comics. I don't know anything about the Mandarin, what he was like. I actually thought it was kind of funny the way they did it. I also am a fan, I like Guy Pearce, so him being the bad guy in the end, spoilers, sorry, worked fine for me. And I like the fact that they had a kid character in it who wasn't annoying, or at least I didn't find him annoying. So that was good. So yeah, I just, overall, if I'm honest, that's the one that I just enjoyed the most. So yeah. My favourite X-Men film is... the first one. I have seen all of the Wolverine ones, or the first lot of X-Men ones, or the prequel ones, and it was a bit of a toss-up between this and Days of Future Past, because I really liked Days of Future Past, the way they mixed the future with the past. I thought was really good. But I always come back to this one. I like the way they brought everybody together the first time. I love Wolverine in it because I love Wolverine. It's just the one I've probably seen the most, and if I'm honest, the one I keep coming back to. I mean, the third one was The Wolverine films, apart from Logan, were Logan was really good. It's a bit too long and a bit gritty for my liking in parts. And like I said, the prequel ones, I haven't actually watched first class since I originally saw. I've only seen it once, and Apocalypse again I haven't seen since the cinema, so it's probably a tie more between this one and Days of Future Past, but I have seen this one more, and this is the one that I was very dubious when I found they were going to make an X-Men film, because I didn't recognise the actor they had playing Wolverine, but once I saw it I was like, yes, I love Hugh Jackman now. So yeah, it's the first one. And my favourite Batman film is Lego Batman. I'm not kidding either. Okay, so I like the Tim Burton one, the first one anyway, with Michael Keaton. The second one I haven't watched for a long time, and I feel I need to watch it again, but I get the feeling that one's a bit too, the Penguin was just too gross for me. I liked Batman Forever, but I recognise why people find about it. Batman and Robin is just stupid. Yeah, it's just, no. And I'm not a huge fan of the Nolan films. Batman is not a character that really appeals to me. So them trying to do a sort of gritty, realistic version, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the films are bad. They're just not my kind of thing. And I haven't actually watched the more recent ones with Ben Affleck. The Batman versus Superman, I haven't seen those. But when I saw Lego Batman, I just loved it. It was fun. It really had a lot of fun with it. And it's Lego. So, as I said, it's a comedy. I think Will Arnett plays a really good Batman. So, yeah, I saw this twice at the cinema. I've seen it since I bought it, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. The reason why I'm not doing my favourite Superman is because until the weekend, I'd never seen a Superman film. I'm not even kidding. I had vague memories of seeing bits of the original Christopher Reeves one. I used to watch the TV series with Dean Cain in the 90s, which I used to like. But movie-wise, I've not seen Batman Returns, I've not seen Man of Steel or any of the other ones, more recent ones. And because of that, obviously, I couldn't say my favourite Superman. But obviously, because I just said I've just seen the first one, I am actually going to do a review of it next week. Except I want to watch the second one. So I want to do a review of the two, because there is a connection with Zod being in both of them. And his other two mates. So next week I am going to do a review, or my thoughts, from someone who's never seen a Superman film, on those films. And you can find that out, as I say, next week. So I hope this has been interesting. Yes, I do like a lot of third installments of the Avengers films, but I'd probably say that my first of the Avengers films, even though I loved Infinity War, I still have a special feelings for the first Avengers films, and that's probably my favourite of those three. But we'll see what the fourth one's like. Okay, so that's it, and I'll see you next week.